Hello, Miss McKay here. Um, so I'm going to try to help you work through the math. I'm trying to actually move the screen. Sorry. Oops. Okay, so I was going to try to move myself up to the top corner, but for some reason I'm having trouble figuring out how to do that. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, first thing you need to do, go ahead and put your name on your paper. Um, I apologize. I'm trying to write with the mouse. Okay. Miss Kajan said that you can if you have a printer, go ahead and print it out. If you don't, go ahead and just put it on a piece of paper. Okay. Says it is critical that you're able to graph lines and understand graphs of lines. Try the first exercise as a warm up. Okay. So 4 lines are graphed on the set of axes below. Write the number of the line beside each of the correct equations. Okay. So that wasn't supposed to be there. Okay, so the first one, y equals negative 2/3 x plus 3. So I know that it's a negative. So I know my negatives are going to point that way and my positives are going to face over here. So I know that it's either line 3 or line 4. Okay, so now I'm going to look at my y-intercept. It says 3. So I know that 3 is up here. So it has to be line 3. Okay, let's look at the next one. Y equals x plus 5. Okay, so I know it's a positive slope, so it's either going to be line 1 or line 2. And it says my y-intercept is 5. Okay, so I'm going to estimate where I think 5 is on the line. It's probably line number 1. Okay, let's look at number 2. Or the third one, sorry, y equals negative 2x minus 7. It's a negative slope. I've already used line 3, so my answer is going to be 4. Okay. Now I've used 1, 3, and 4, so that process of elimination, that means it's 2. But let's just double check. 2x minus 3, so it's a positive slope, so it's either line 1 or 2, and it starts at negative 3. Well, we can tell that it's below the origin, so it has to be number 2. Okay. Recall that if a line is written in the form y equals mx plus b, then it is relatively easy to graph, especially if m and b are reasonably easy to work with. A quick review from the previous lesson. Exercise 2. On the grid below, graph the equation y equals 3 over 2x minus 3. First, identify the slope and the y-intercept to help you with the graph. Okay, so we know our slope is whatever's with the x. So our slope is 3 over 2. Okay, and our y-intercept is whatever number comes at the end. In this case, okay, it's negative 3. We have to use the sign that comes with it. Okay, our y-intercept tells us where we're going to start on our set of axes. So here's our y. So I'm going to start at negative 3. So here's negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and I'm going to put a dot. Okay, now my slope is up 3 over 2. So I'm going to go up 3, and I'm going to go over 2 to the positive because I know it's a positive slope. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go over 2, 1, 2. I'm going to put a dot there. Then the same thing, up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 2. And I'm going to put another dot. Okay? And then you're going to connect your dots. Oh, and do a better job than I just did. Okay? You should have a straight line. Obviously, we can tell that mine is not straight. Okay? Exercise number 3, write down 2 points this line passes through and use them to calculate the average rate of change of this function. Okay, so the first line or first point that we know of is 0, negative 3. So 0, negative 3. Okay, another point that we know is this one right here, which is 2, 0. Okay, to figure out average rate of change, we are going to do so rate of change, the change in y over the change in x. And I apologize, those should really look more like triangles. Okay, so label x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so 0 minus negative 3 over, 2 minus 0. And that gives me a average rate of change of 3 over 2, which is what we got over here when we got our slope. Okay, so that should be the first page of your homework. If you're interested in, I'm using Kami right now. If you're interested in learning how to use Kami so you can do the same thing and then save it and send it to her, like those of you who have Mr. Mitiga for global studies, when you did that assignment, let me know and I can teach you how to convert it to Kami. It's actually fairly easy to do. Okay, so let's look at the next one. It says sometimes linear equations are not written in a form that makes it easy to determine the slope and the y-intercept. It's important to be able to rearrange these formulas in order to quickly identify these linear parameters. Exercise 4. Consider the linear equation 2y minus 6x equals 12. Steps are shown below to rearrange the equation. Justify each step with a property of equality or a property of numbers. So Mrs. Cashin's asking you to kind of go way back into your brain. Okay, what property allows us to move the 6x from this side over to this side? And that would be the additive identity. Okay. So when I have 6x minus 6x plus 6x, okay, so that's going to also, I believe, be the same property. I'm not 100% sure with that one, which property they're looking for with that one. Let's actually write property of 0. Because we know that if we take 6 and then we subtract 6, we're going to have nothing. So we're going to do property of 0. Okay. When we want to get rid of the 2 in front of the y so that we move it on the other side, that's a multiplicative inverse. Just means that we're doing the opposite of multiplying because we're going to divide by 2. I apologize for that. I probably should have used just the text box. Sorry. This is a new program to me, so I'm learning as we go. Inverse, let's see. Oh, they won't let me move it. Okay, so inverse. Oops. INVERSE. There we go. That probably looks a little bit nicer than my attempt at writing with a mouse. Okay. And now I'm going to distribute the 2 to both the 6x and the 12. So I'm using the distributive property. Okay. And then they show us that when we're done, it equals 3x plus 6. Okay. Identify the slope and the y-intercept. Okay. So my slope, not sloper, my slope, sorry, is 3. And my y-intercept is 6. Okay. So my slope, the number with the x, my y-intercept, the number at the end. Okay, for number 5, it says rearrange each of the following linear equations into y equals mx plus b form and identify the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, sorry, I was checking to see how many other questions there were. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3x to both sides. Okay, that gives me 3y equals 3x plus 15. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide everything by 3. You may have seen Miss Cashin do it like this. Okay. Oh, actually, I don't want to. Hold on. Okay. Okay, I'm going to divide this by 3 and then this side by 3. Okay, that gives me y equals, okay, 3x divided by 3 is 1, or 1x. And then 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, which gives me my slope of 1, and my y-intercept is 5. Okay, we're going to do B, C, and D the same way. So we have 2y plus 5x equals negative 8. So I'm going to subtract 5x, sorry, from both sides. And remember, we can't combine the negative 8 and the negative 5x because they both don't have an x. Okay, that leaves me with 2y equals negative 5x minus 8. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, I want to get rid of the 2 because I'm trying to get y by itself. So I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Okay, so you can do it either way. You can do it over here like I did where I put a 3 underneath both of them, or you can actually put it underneath each individual one. It doesn't change anything. Okay, negative 5 over 2 does not divide into anything equally. So I'm going to leave it just like it is as negative 5 over 2. The only time we're going to convert it is when it divides in there equally. Okay, like this. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. Okay, so for this one, my slope is negative 5 over 2. And my y-intercept is negative 4. I'm just making them equal signs so it don't look like negative signs. Okay, let's look at question number C, letter C. Okay, I'm going to move my x to the other side. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to subtract x. Okay, that leaves me with negative 3y equals negative x plus 6. Okay, I'm going to divide by negative 3. Okay, that leaves me with y equals, okay, we know a negative divided by a negative is a positive, 1/3 x. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. It gives me a slope, right here is my slope, of 1 over 3, and a y-intercept of negative 2. Okay, last one on this page, and then you'll have the next page for your, for yourself to practice. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, move the x to the other side. I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. And remember, we can't combine these two at the end because they don't both have an x. Okay, that leaves me with negative 4y equals negative 6x minus 20. Okay, now I'm going to divide by negative 4. Okay, that leaves me with y equals, okay, 6 does not get, you can't evenly divide 6 by 4, but you can reduce them to 3 over 2. And remember, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So that gives me 3 over 2 x. And negative 20 divided by negative 4. Remember, a negative divided by a negative again gives me a positive. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Okay, that leaves me with a slope right here of 3 over 2 and a y-intercept of 5. Okay. If you have any questions on the next 2 pages, please do not hesitate to get a hold of me. Let me know. You can send me an email. You can ask the question on Google Classroom. Do not hesitate to ask for help, because if you have a question, probably somebody else does too. Okay. Thank you for joining me, and I hope this helps. Okay. Bye.